Hey guys, welcome back to DC Extra. My name is Chris. Today we're going to be breaking down Season 9, Episode 9 of The Flash. Alright, so as always, there will be some spoilers in this video, so make sure you've seen the episode before watching this breakdown. The episode starts with Chester explaining how Barry will for the second time be turning 30. And it sounds weird, yes I know, but they say it's because of the gamma ray that he was affected from recently, and that de-aged him by a few years. By 3 I think it said specifically, and that basically means he turns 30 again. Then we see a surprise party being thrown for him, with Wally, Diggle and Captain Singh all showing up for what is presumably one last time. Diggle gives Barry a gift, that being Oliver's bow, that they recovered in National City after Oliver died during Crisis on Infinite Earths, and Barry is reluctant to accept the gift, and suggests that it be displayed in the hall, obviously referring to the Hall of Justice, last seen during Armageddon. Barry and Wally talk about what Wally has been up to during his time away, that being honing his abilities to project his consciousness into the Speed Force and across timelines. Barry then makes a speech thanking everyone for their support over the years, and they then make a toast, however this is dosed with a familiar sediment, that being the blood work of none other than Ramsey Rosso. Most of the team then fades from this, leaving just Barry and Wally standing due to their speed healing. And just like the last time Ramsey faced Team Flash, he gets inside of Barry's mind, disenabling him from being able to stop blood work. We then find out Chester is actually still conscious because he didn't drink any of the contaminated champagne. And also apparently Ramsey's effect on Iris's lesson due to her sharing Nora's healing factor while she's pregnant. And this actually reminds me of how in the comics Linda Park, who is Wally's wife, gets speed abilities while she's pregnant. Ramsey sets his sights on Wally and attempts to corrupt him by making him relive some of his worst memories. While conversing with Wally, Ramsey mentions that Crisis on Infinite Earths didn't wipe out the multiverse as it was supposed to, and we'll get more explanation on that later. Wally also makes reference to Jessie Quick, who was his girlfriend in Season 3, and also the daughter of Earth 2's Harrison Wells. Ramsey details his plan to not only corrupt the whole Earth, but the whole multiverse, similar to his plan from Season 6, but on a much, much larger scale. Ramsey guilts Barry into thinking everyone who has died in his life has been in his name. This will play a bigger part in a little while. And then really confusingly, Ramsey takes Barry dressed as the Flash to the set of a show called Flashbacks. Obviously an illusion, but still confusing for Barry and us as the viewers. And as we find out shortly, the whole reason for this illusion was to guilt Barry. Ramsey lets Barry out of the illusion, but not before he corrupts Wally. And then Wally pulls a reverse flash, vibrating his hand right through Barry's chest, killing him. Barry is then transported to what is presumably Purgatory, where he comes face to face with Oliver Queen, also known as the Green Arrow, also known as the Spectre, and we'll see some form of all 3 iterations throughout the episode. Barry is reluctant to believe Oliver is real, but he realizes that he is also dead, making everything else make a lot more sense. Oliver explains that when he recreated Prime Earth after it was destroyed in Crisis, he inadvertently created the entire multiverse instead of just one Earth, confirming Ramsey's words from earlier. He then explains that Red Death was actually from an Earth numbered 4125, instead of an alternate timeline as she believed to be from. Then he adds to that by saying while Wally thought he was projecting his consciousness to other timelines, in reality, he was projecting his consciousness to other Earths. And this also kind of helps tie in last week's Titans episode, where we also got a look at the multiverse. Because prior to this Flash episode, it was implied that the multiverse was dead, but then in shows like Titans, we got them saying the multiverse exists. So it was kind of a contradiction, but now it all falls into place. Chester is being attacked by bloodwork-infested Team Flash members, when Keone comes in for the save using ice powers that are very similar to Frost, and still unsure how all this works, and I'm pretty sure she's going to look more into that in future episodes. She says that there was a presence calling her to come and help them, and we will learn exactly what this presence was in a minute, Wally uses his abilities to open a portal to the multiverse, which Ramsey then expands his infectious cells to corrupt the multiverse. Oliver senses this, and Barry tries to convince him to bring him back to life. But due to Barry's own guilt that Ramsey inflicted upon him, Oliver is unable to do this. He then explains that how the extra years of life that his father's sacrifice gave him were wasted, but that Barry can use his extra years to make the world a better place, to be a hero. Oliver then punches Barry back into life, taking himself along for the ride. However, in Oliver's case, it's only a temporary fix, as he can only come back to life while the multiverse is in danger. He then takes the bow that Diggle gave Barry for his gift, and we hear the Arrow theme play over the scene.
Let's go kick some ass.
Barry and Wally fight while Oliver holds off a surge of police officers under Ramsey's control, getting some Green Arrow fighting that I have definitely missed from the Arrowverse. Keone uses her abilities to free Diggle from Bloodwork's control, but that is all she could manage to do with her abilities, so everyone else for now is still under his control, although in a stasis due to the ice power she used earlier. Chester then asks Diggle to help Barry fight Ramsey as Spartan. Barry stops fighting Wally and attempts reasoning with him, connecting with his humanity and insecurities, eventually freeing Wally from Ramsey's control. After taking down all the police officers, Ramsey confronts Oliver himself. But luckily, Diggle is there to help him out. And finding out that Oliver is alive is a massive shock to him, and we get a heartfelt moment between these two brothers. Now that it is 4 against 1, Barry and Wally hold Bloodwork while Oliver fires an arrow to the multiverse breach.
You have failed this city!
Closing it for good and stopping Ramsey's infection, not just on this world, but all others. Not only does this depower Ramsey back into a human state, but it also removes him of the HLH he had, meaning that he will be able to spend the rest of his human life rotting in prison. We then learn that it was Oliver whose voice Keone heard earlier, and he explains that Keone is connected to the natural world, which I kind of had a hunch about, not exactly that she was connected to the natural world, but she kind of mentions that she was talking to plants and all that kind of stuff, so it was something along those lines. And due to this connection to the natural world, she was able to free Diggle of the unnaturality in Diggle's blood that Ramsey inflicted upon him. Is unnaturality a word? I don't know. And then, like nothing at all happened, the team goes back to partying. We get a cool heartfelt moment between Wally and Iris, where Wally says he now has to look within himself to make himself content with his past. And they connect over the fact that Iris is going to have Nora, and Wally is going to be an uncle. John needs to go back to Argus, but he has a conversation with Oliver first, saying that William is in college and Mia is able to climb a salmon ladder, just like her father. We see a lot of this in the flash forwards in Arrow, so if you want to see more about his two children as they're older, make sure you go watch that. Also, we get reference to the mysterious green box that John found during Crisis and was shown in last season of The Flash, which many people believe to be a Green Lantern ring, and when he threw it away were quite mad, but Oliver explains that the box was designed to tempt him, saying that Diggle's brightest days are ahead of him. And this is clearly a reference to the Green Lantern Oath, which begins with the phrase, "in brightest day." Oliver and Barry then spend time at a bar, and we learn Barry has been keeping count of how many times he has saved the city, having a total of 180 times now. Pretty impressive. They then toast, saying,
Touch nest.
if you've watched Arrow, you will know what that is, and if you haven't watched Arrow, it does mean strength.
Means a lot more than that.
Oliver leaves, but not before giving Barry some encouraging words and wishing him a happy birthday, marking this as the last time we will see Oliver Queen in the Arrowverse. And that is the end of this episode. Absolutely love this episode, and it is my favourite by far. And I may be a little bit biased since Arrow is my favourite series, but I digress. Really looking forward to the final 4 episodes, and I believe they are all a part of a 4-part storyline. So the final 4 episodes are going to be titled A New World 1, New World 2, 3, and 4. As to what this new world exactly entails, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be rebooting the universe and somehow connecting it to the DCU, but I doubt that very much, and I hope they kind of just leave the Arrowverse as something that is kind of happening in the background, but we don't get to see it per se. So maybe in the future, we get to see Bart and Nora, Mia and William, all grown up, and then them carrying on their parents' legacies. Anyway, that is it for this video, so I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more content like this. But until next time, this has been Chris, and I'll be seeing you.